So Kenny, can you kind of explain where you're from and everything?
So my name is Kenny Severa, and I'm the owner and host of Kenny Sports Guys Podcast, a podcast that talks about Major League Baseball, WWE, AEW, NFL, and the NBA. I was born in the Bronx, New York, still live here. I like the city sometimes, but dream of moving out in the countryside or something. I'm a huge Yankees fan. I'm a huge Jets fan. I'm sadly a Knicks fan. Um, I started Kenny the Sports Guys podcast in May 2020 during the pandemic. Just been very consistent with it. I talk about all things sports. I don't talk about all the controversial stuff because people don't want to hear that. They just want to hear sports. I just focuses on that.
No, most definitely, most definitely. So, in terms of the lockout, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I know baseball is one of your big areas. You're a Yankee fan. I'm a Yankee guy. Um, can you speak to the lockout a little bit and what are your thoughts on that? Maybe when the season might start and
Well, it's very tricky now because now, as the last time we talked, the first time they weren't talking, but now they're meeting up every single day this week. Apparently, they are talking to each other. They are making some progress, but today everything just fell apart. I feel like the season is not going to start on time.
okay.
I think it's going to start in July of 2022. I mean, 2022, because there is literally a lot of ground to cover. Like the owners and the players are not seeing eye to eye. It just seems like the owners are, how do I say this? They're like the villains out of all this. So with me, I feel like there's a deadline that MLB has to beat. So February 28th is the deadline where the season has to start on time. If not, well, we gotta have another spring training. We gotta have another postponement in our hands for the season. And I really truly believe that it's gonna start in July because this is gonna be a reminiscent of 2020.
Just pretty much something similar to that.
Yeah, something similar to that.
Ah, geez. We touched on earlier that you're a Yankee guy. So what are your feelings on the contract for Judge? You think they're gonna re-sign him? You think they're gonna what do you think they're gonna do with Judge? Or what should they do?
I think they should just resign him. I mean, he is the heart and soul of that team.
Okay.
He's a power hitter. He's the best bat we have in our lineup right now.
Okay.
He's young. I mean, Judge, he is like a special talent, and special talent needs to be taken care of. He needs to be paid properly. But given that Brian Cashman has been frugal with money recently, I feel like he might let him walk. But if I was the Yankees GM right now, I would lock him out to the extension.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I feel a lot of people think that the Yankees just buy players. But if you look at it, I mean, generally speaking, I would say the Yankees aren't going to be your highest bidder,
No,
because they go with that Yankee lore, like, okay, we're the Yankees, we'll give you what we're gonna give you. And if that's not enough, you can go somewhere else. I mean, honestly, right now, and you could tell me your thoughts, I feel like honestly, the Padres, they're really gonna pay some
they're
people.
really good. I don't know what happened with them last year, honestly. Like they just collapsed. But
Seriously.
it's a new season. As far as the Yankees, they're not gonna spend the money anymore. They're not gonna spend any money because it's gonna be like very analytics based. So they rather call up a person that has like over a 300 batting average up in the minors instead of signing a player that has that is 30 and his production is declining. So the days of Steinbrenner spending money are long gone. I think they just shifting their focus on their minor leaguers, and they might sign a free agent or two in the offseason, but
one thing with the Yankees, they've hit on a lot of players, like a lot of guys that they signed, Urshela, um, DJ, LeMahieu. Like I feel like they've signed guys and they've worked out, and a lot of the guys that they brought up have worked out. Even Sanchez.
Maybe they get a bit of pitching bullpen help because we need bullpen help because last year was just a fluke. We need bullpen help. That's what it is. Starter pitching is okay. I mean, we need a bit. We need one more starter.
One more starter.
We need one more pitcher for the bullpen because our bullpen last year was absolutely bad. Like I don't care what anybody says, they were terrible. A terrible bullpen. The closer, I like Chapman, but he's getting up there in age.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
He's getting up there in age. And yeah, the Yankees just need to focus on two things: bullpen help and a quality arm, like a quality fifth pitcher in the rotation.
You feel like that'll kind of be the difference maker for her.
Yeah, that, and I think they should re-sign Rizzo. I don't think they should get Freeman. I think Freeman will be better off elsewhere.
Yeah, it's a good point. I feel like a lot of their signings and a lot of these guys just came out of nowhere and really like even like a Gleyber Torres. Like I feel like he came up and he became a really good player. So I like a lot of the work that they've done. I just feel like they've underachieved with a lot of the gifted players that they have. But maybe what you're saying is the truth. Maybe with that bullpen, it might be the difference maker. But I do think if they get that bullpen within the next 5 years, I think it would be good to see if they can win something.
Yeah, I mean, it has been since 2009 they haven't won a championship.
Yeah,
Close to 12 years now, and
close to 12 years.
I think that's the longest, one of the longest championship droughts in Yankee history.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because like the Yankee fans are so used to winning. So I could definitely understand what you're saying about that. I mean, yeah, I feel like certain rosters are meant to win. I felt like when the Dodgers won it, they were meant to win. Like you can't not win when you have that kind of firepower at
Well,
some
the
point.
the Dodgers winning the World Series was just a Mickey Mouse championship because it was only 60 games.
Yeah, that's true. Short
So
season.
it was only an asterisk. I mean, did they deserve the title? Yeah, they were the best team during that year, but you got to remember it was only 60 games.
Short season, right?
Yeah, it was a short pandemic short season, and they were the best team, yeah, but they gotta have an asterisk right next to their name.
No, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. Um, yeah, going into some of the NBA, what are your thoughts on who you think are like title contenders on the Eastern Conference side and the Western Conference side?
So for the Western Conference, I got two teams. I have the Golden State Warriors, who clearly are back, and I got the Phoenix Suns,
Okay.
despite Chris Paul being out 6 to 8 weeks with a thumb injury. I mean, with a finger injury, I think. But if I had to pick favorites for the Western Conference, I would have to go to the Suns because they seem like the most complete team right now. I know everyone's gonna say the Warriors because they have Steph Curry, they have Klay Thompson, and they have Draymond Green. But for me, I just feel like the Suns are vastly underrated and they're gonna get back to the finals. Actually, and for the Eastern Conference, that's actually a tough one. I would have to say the Bucks because they're the defending champions.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think nobody can beat them. Maybe the Sixers, but it all depends on James Harden
Right,
if
right.
he shows up like in every game. I just don't see James Harden, winning a championship for Philadelphia. So for me, I think the Sixers are the second best team, but I think they're gonna bounce in the first round really easy.
Are you Do you think Miami or Chicago have a shot at the title or
Miami, yes. Chicago, I'm not sure because they're still young.
okay.
They're still beginning, but that's actually a really tough one. Chicago could make some noise in the postseason, but
Hmm.
I just don't think it's this season. Maybe
Okay.
next season they will.
Okay. Maybe need a little more time.
Yeah, they just need more time and players, more development.
Got you, got you, got you.
Like
Uh,
DeMar DeRozan is playing out of his mind right now.
Out of his mind, right?
Yeah, he revived his career in a hurry.
No, I could agree with that. I
Hmm.
could agree with that. Having a spectacular season. Spectacular season. Yeah, so like just wrapping up a little bit, like what are your thoughts in terms of where you want to take the podcast and where can they find you on the internet?
Well, for me, I'm taking it little by little every day. I'm producing more video content.
Hmm.
I'm actually in the process of going down to Dallas for WrestleMania weekend. Hopefully that will happen. Just doing content there. Hopefully, uh, hopefully interviewing wrestlers. Yeah, just for me, I'm just gonna do more video content, more audio content as usual, and just trying to make this big and just being consistent with it. Like that's the key. Just to be consistent. Just because nobody hears your episodes doesn't mean you should give up. You just gotta be very consistent with it. You gotta make sure your writing is quality and just be your best version of yourself. Be authentic, and you should be golden. And for the other question, people can find me on kennysportsguy.com, K with two N's. On social media, you can find me on Twitter at Kenny_sports, Instagram Kenny Sports Guy One, TikTok at Kenny Sports Podcast, and you can also find me on Spotify and Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you make sure you're everywhere.
Yeah, make sure you just gotta promote it.
No, definitely, definitely. I've listened to multiple episodes. You know, I remember probably around 2020 when it first started. So,
Hmm.
to see you keep consistently pushing, like it's impressive. So I
Yeah,
definitely
my,
give
my new episode's gonna be out Thursday. I talk about Rob Manfred. Is he the best commissioner in sports, or he's the worst commissioner?
it's a bit of a challenge, especially with what's going on right now. You think it's some challenging stuff?
Yeah, it is. It is. But baseball should get through this. I mean, July 2022, that's when the season's gonna start, believe me.
Hey, you heard it here. July 2022. Kenny, I appreciate it. I appreciate you jumping on here with me. I appreciate you giving some knowledge to the people out there. So thank you very much.
Anytime, man. If you need me, just let me know. I'll be there to help.
Hey, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening out in New York.
You too, man. Take care of yourself, okay?
All right, take care.